Mark Duda with us once again from Lackawanna College. The Falcons have completed their football season, and Coach, a way to go out with a bang, a shootout, a big win against Georgia Military.
Well, it was a great game, John. You know, we went down to Marshall, played them at a neutral site. There was 9 lead changes in the game. We ended up winning 41-34 against a great Georgia Military team that was 11th in the country. So it caused us to finish at 19th in the country. So we got back in the top 20 where we thought we should have been, and it was a great game for everybody.
And overall, we'll talk with a couple of guys tonight here with us, but overall, your feelings about the way the year went with your team?
You know, we were happy with the year. You know, we ended up 7-2 and lost 2 ball games, one not so well, one really close, but guys got better, and it really bounced back in the last game. I think Georgia Military was the best team we played all year, and they lost their first game in Texas, and then the last game to us. That happened 2 years in a row. So kind of an interesting thing, great rivalry, and just a well-played game all the way around.
Coach, let's talk about as we get into the off-season here, things. It's the holiday time, so obviously guys spending time with the families, the coaches able to spend a little family time, and you guys will get back after it and make sure these guys are lined up for that next step. Yeah,
it's really important. You know, recruiting, keeps going for us, and also for our guys right now. They're taking visits. TJ, you'll meet him in a second. He's already committed to the University of Maryland, but Michael Dare and some other guys are still taking visits. So it's a big time for them, but it's nice to get away for Thanksgiving. Our youngsters come back the week after. They have 1 week of class, then finals, and then their semester ends. So it's a busy time, but it's a good time.
And of course, the message always is finishing the job, and these guys do that on the football field. But let's talk about the academic component of making sure these guys are lining themselves up for that next step and make sure all the checks and balances are there.
Really important. For our situation, they have finals coming up, and then we have to make sure they're on track to graduate. We have a lot of mid-year graduators. Both of these guys will graduate in December. So they'll both be at their schools right there in January. So it's really, really important they finish strongly. I think we do a good job with that. I think our institution does as well, and we don't let kids slip through the cracks.
Let's talk a little bit about Michael, and then we talked about him most of the year. Everybody, his receivers are talking about him. His offensive coordinator is talking about him. For you, big, strong young man, and coming in here and kind of learning the way the Falcons do things and what he's going to take on to wherever that's going to be.
His leadership has been fantastic. He got here in the summer, which is, no spring ball for him, for us. Learned the system and became a go-to guy. His statistics are really good. I'm sure you'll ask him about those, but he had another great game the other day, threw for 350 against Georgia Military. You can't do that. I mean, people don't do that. So it puts him in a whole nother level as a quarterback, and came and helped us as a program, and I think we helped him kind of find his way and be ready to make a really great decision in his 4 years. So I think it's a win-win situation. You don't get those all too often, and we're proud to have them.
Well, I'm sure it feels good for you. The University of Maryland's getting a really nice young man coming down there. Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, TJ's a great guy. He is a big 6'8" guy who played very little football until he got to Lackawanna. Was a defensive lineman for us his first year, and moved over to O-line and became a great player for us. Has a lot of super advantages. He's 6'8", 300 pounds. Has great movement skills, and they're penciling him in to be the left tackle at University of Maryland. That's my alma mater, which is kind of funny, but he's a great kid as well. He's worked his tail off. So little football that he played, he got better every single week, and now he's ready to go play.
Talk about the recruiting process. You say the visits and stuff like that. Obviously, the college coaches kind of have seen these guys already. Talk about maybe them, that one last opportunity to seal things up to make an impression with a coach.
It's interesting. They come in next week when our kids come back, and we'll have coaches there every single day. And some of them will be new to it. They'll come in, not really recruiting our guys before, see them on film and try to get them right now. And then other ones have been recruiting throughout the whole process. So it's a hectic time at the end for those guys, especially our mid-year guys. We have about 15 of those, the December graduates. And then the May guys, they sign in February. So our mid-year guys sign December 10th or 12th, and then move on to their school. So in January, they'll be sitting there already.
Wheels are always turning for you about the guys going, the guys coming in. You got all kind of things going on at Lackawanna College. Nonetheless, as you summarize the fall of 2017 with this particular group, very talented group, played some great football, and hopefully are going to go on and do more great things that other Falcons have done.
They've done a great job. We're 25-4 in the last 3 years. It's hard to be 25-4 in junior college, and these last 2 groups have been fantastic. These guys have lost 3 games in 2 years. So from a winning standpoint, they've been fantastic. But they've been great in another way. They've been great academically. They've averaged a 3.0 throughout all their semesters, so their academics have been fantastic. So it's easier to get them recruited that way, certainly, and it builds a tradition. I think Lackawanna today, as I speak, is in the best situation football-wise they've been in since I got there 25 years ago.
Keep up the great work, Mark. Pleasure to have you each and every week and get your message out about the Lackawanna College Falcons, and enjoy the holiday with your own family.
Thank you, Johnny. It's been great to be here, and to get exposure for our school has been fantastic.
Michael Dare with us. He is a quarterback from the Lackawanna College Falcons. And Michael, you guys had a really nice year this year. One game went one lopsided way, but nonetheless, you guys played against some great competition and going out a winner against Georgia Military. Let's talk about that experience. What was it like going down to Marshall with your teammates and being in that atmosphere?
Going down to Marshall was a great environment. The stadium itself, the coaches there on the sideline, just playing the Georgia Military team was really good for us. We were really prepared for this kind of game, and we knew we had to win. What we were told, win, get a bowl game. But even though we didn't get a bowl game, but we still went out with a bang. Playing a great Georgia Military team. They were ranked 11th when we faced them, and now we're back in the top 20 where we should be, and we should have finished this year strong like we did.
A lot of lead changes, so your ability to keep going out there and getting that lead back. Talk about being on the sidelines and you guys staying positive and being able to take care of some opportunities that you guys had and have that last score.
I knew it was going to be a shootout when we went into that game. Like last year, they were down by 14 going into the half, and I knew it was going to be like that this year. Back and forth, touchdown. I knew it was going to be a dogfight up front, and I knew our skilled players will come out strong and open up holes for me to throw, and I knew our run game was going to be able to get 90 yards on the ground like they did.
For you to come in this summer, pick up a system, being able to have a bond both with your players and the coaches and be able to work things out, because that starting job wasn't easy to get. Talk a little bit about how you're able to elevate yourself to learn in such a quick process.
I loved it coming here in the summer. I knew I had to fight for the job. I knew how to get everything down pat quick. I was in my playbook every night during summer because there's nothing else that you can do. It's all football, no classes. That's all you got to focus on. So I was in my playbook just learning stuff, asking a lot of questions, and really getting down the playbook so I could go out there and compete to the best of my ability every single practice and really show that this is my team and this could be my spot.
Wherever you're going to go, you're going to have talent around you. But, boy, you had some good talent this year. A lot of weapons, a lot of different skill sets in those receivers. Yeah. Take us through what those guys are all about.
I thought the receiving core I had was fantastic. I don't think it could have got any better. Jawan Green on the outside to the left, he's just a threat all over the field. Give him a nice hitch. He could break a tackle and go for 80 if he really could. The other side, Bess, he's a big physical receiver. He could go up and get it, and he probably one of the best hands I've probably seen in my whole football career so far. Then you have two slots. You have Juice on the left slot with Jawan. That's a great combo right there. Switch routes and all that. And Juice is fast. Never knew he could jump as high when I gave him a jump ball versus ASA New York, and he snagged that down. And then Prince, one of the fastest kids I've probably ever seen. Like Monroe gave him a nice ball down the middle of the field and just let him run under it, and he got it. With his ability to be able to get off being jammed from linebackers and being able to, make some moves and get open and being able to adjust the balls that I throw, it's fantastic.
Spent a lot of time, I'm sure, with Coach Pardini,
Yep.
Coach Duda as well. Talk about where the relationship started in the summer with those guys and where you're at now as we get into the holidays and probably feel like they're going to be part of your family for a time to come.
It started when I came down here on my visits in April. Coming down, Coach Duda, a great man. I met him at an event earlier in the year, and coming down here, just knowing that he went to Maryland, and my former OC from Rutgers, Coach Friedgen, was the head coach, and they have a great relationship. So I was comfortable coming down here, and that just sparked the relationship for me and Coach Duda. And then Coach Pardini, just talking to him, and he really understands where I come from and the game of football, and I really love that. So being able to talk to him and form a relationship with him was really easy.
Wherever you go forward, I'm sure you're going to be an asset. You're looking forward to the next step, both academically and athletically?
Yeah, definitely. Being at the 2 years at Rutgers, and I already know how college is now, academic-wise. I know what all the academics expect from me, and sports-wise. So coming here, really gave me that extra step and really allowed me to see what school is, and also being the starting quarterback and playing and getting the time that I need to, and being able to balance both. So at my next school, it's going to be 20 times easier than it was.
your family is important. We talked about them in the past. Hit on now as we get a little close to the holidays. Spending some precious time with them, what that'll be like.
Yeah, definitely. Really didn't get much time with them this year because I was playing every game and, just going out there and trying to get a win with my team. And I saw them for a couple minutes, hours on the weekends. But, now really be able to go home and spend time with them and cherish the moments and, be able to see where I'm going next and talk to them about my next 2 years where I'm going to be playing and making sure everyone's comfortable and behind me.
Michael Dare, pleasure to catch up with you. Your statistics this year were pretty darn good. I'm sure you feel really good about that and what you guys were able to do for the Falcons. We wish you the very best.
Thank you.
TJ Bradley joining us from the Lackawanna College Falcons here on the John Mendola Show at our Carol and Janelle. And for you, TJ, let's talk about your year, how things went for you up front.
Up front, I learned a lot. I could thank my teammates for that. Every game it seemed like I learned something new. And every game I always improved in something. And it was my first season playing tackle, and I really enjoyed it. I know I have a lot to learn, and I had a lot of fun. I had a blast with these guys. We got a lot of wins. We had our ups and downs with the coaches, but at the end of the day, we still love each other. And it was a pretty good season overall, I think.
Coach Duda's the kind of guy that you could be close with, but at the same time, you're doing something wrong, he's going to get on you. Talk a little bit about his style as a coach.
Coach Duda, he always had the right thing to say. He helped me so much this season. When I would get upset, he'll help me keep my composure. And, he's a straightforward coach, and he's a guy I would want around always to help me up in life and how football. And I'm so glad he helped me take this opportunity to come here.
Taking some young men at this age, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, and it may be one little step they need. Coach Duda seems like he knows that right button to push. Talk about what those buttons were, and I think you said a little bit about that, but what were some buttons he needed to push with you to make you take those right steps to where you're going to now head back to the University of Maryland here?
Yeah, like you said, he knows all the buttons to push. He knows everything that each player needs. And when I came here, I felt like he just needed to know that I needed to learn how to be a football player. He knew that I was an athlete, but he just wanted me to become a football player and learn the system. And he really helped me grow up, not just as a football player, but also as a man here. And because I came in, young, just wide open, I just wanted a helmet. And now I actually see I love the game of football. I came here wanting to play football. Now I love the game of football.
Let's talk about the academic part of getting the job done there, and what classes maybe you enjoyed, or an area of study you're going to continue at the University of Maryland.
Maryland, I want to continue in business. Here they have a good supportive staff at Lackawanna. That's exactly what I want at Maryland. That's what I felt they had. So yeah, they have everything. They helped me all 2 years I was here. Every class I needed help in, they'll come immediately. They wouldn't wait, so everything's perfect, and I hope to continue that.
Let's talk about your family. I'm sure that's another component in your life that's important to you, and they won't be too far from the University of Maryland.
Not at all. My mother is my biggest supporter. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. My dad's also my biggest supporter, and I got 2 sisters, and I'm a family man. I'm a mama's boy, it's been almost all my games this season, so we're all taking this trip together, and we're enjoying every step of the way.
Your family at Lackawanna, these guys you got to meet from all over the country. Talk about what you'll take away from being a Falcon forever and knowing that some of these relationships you'll want to continue for a long time.
Being a Falcon just taught me how to be humble, man. I know when I got here, the way I started, I didn't have one single look from a college. I just came here wanting to play the game of football and get better, and I still have that same attitude. I'm blessed with the offers that I received, but at the end of the day, I just want to become a better football player, and that's the attitude I want to remain to have. I just want to stay humble with it.
Those guys up front, boy, they really worked hard. You started over on the defensive side when you got to Lackawanna. You ended up on the offensive side of the ball. Talk about your group up front and the guys pushing each other and making sure you guys got better.
We had a great group of 5 guys. Those guys would be my brothers for life. Our center, Dev, always calling out the plays and the blitzes. Our guard, Chase, he's actually where I'm from. We worked out during the summer. Our freshman, Wig, he's a real humble kid, and he has a real bright future in front of him, Anthony Wiggin. And And then our left guard, Taj McDaniel, I can't thank him enough because he helped me so much this season, get better every day, and I hope that I'll continue to talk to him. We'll be brothers for life because he really helped me this season, and I got better every game because of him. When I struggled on plays and stuff like that, he'll explain to me, and he also has a really bright future. So all 5 of those guys, we have something going, and I think we'll have a barn.
Were you always a humble guy, or you think going through some of the grind that you went through made you a little bit more humble?
I came in here pretty humble because my mom, that's how my parents raised me, and they just told me don't change, like keep the same attitude you got here, being the guy you are, and that's why you should stay. Like you shouldn't change for anybody. So I came in like that.
Let's talk about when that helmet gets strapped on and how you change into the player that you are.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm humble for my teammates and I love my teammates, but if you're not on my team and we need to get the job done, then I got to do what I got to do.
All right, I don't want to be on that other side of you, buddy. Well, TJ, great to catch up with you. Great to hear your story. Continued well wishes for your family over the holidays, and good luck at the University of Maryland.
I appreciate it. Thank you.